My brothers and sisters, we are living in very perilous times. Have you noticed that the evening news almost need parental guidance for our children to watch? I have heard from time to time to switch off my tele so that the kids do not watch some of the content that we are seeing in our TVs. The Standard newspaper last week on Friday carried the following headline: "A cry for the beloved women of Kenya." It goes on to say, from January, there has been 14 publicized killing of women inside what they consider to be their warm love nests. The experts are linking this murderous wave to depression, drug abuse, hard economic times, and pressure from the society. It is not just the women who's been victims of these heinous diabolic activities. Men have not been spared either. You're aware of this high-profile case in the court now of a father shooting his son. How do you live with that? How do you get over as a father over that sight and sound of such a murderous and heinous act? The Daily Nation of Saturday, March 9th, 2018, carried an article entitled "Depression is Claiming More at the Workplace, Making the Economy Sick." According to this article's findings, about 10% of the working class have taken time off every year to deal with depression and other mental health issues. Statistics from World Health Organization shows that 1.9 million Kenyans are battling with depression at different stages. Some authorities in this area think that this is a very conservative figure. It should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 5% of the population. Now here is the saddest observation. Majority of these are young people aged below 35 and in the midst of their most productive stage of their lives. Others are millennials leaving school and entering the job market. What is bedeviling our society? Our nation clearly seems to be sick. We are in a crisis. Globally, it is estimated that 800,000 people commit suicide due to depression, according to World Health Organization. That is almost 1 million people dying annually because of depression. This is certainly not a local problem. It is not a local problem. It is an international problem. And poverty is not to blame. Some of these atrocities have been committed in well-to-do families. Something doesn't seem to hold together. The center does not seem to hold together. Globally, the statistics about depression is comparable to what we are seeing in Kenya. The question is, how do we face these hard times upon us? How do we cope with these difficult situations upon us? Some people, in an attempt to deal with this situation, have gone to substance abuse and alcohol. Others, on the extreme end, have gone to New Age spirituality. They think there's a freedom to connect with the Supreme Being in their own ways. They want to come to God, in quotes, in their own terms. For them, any road will lead to the central business district. Christianity is being narrow-minded. There cannot just be one way to Nairobi, the CBD. If you hit Mombasa Road and there's traffic jam, you can maneuver and go to Jogoo Road and make your way to the CBD. If that is also clogged up, you can go all the way to Super superhighway, for sure you should be able to find your way to the central business district. There can't just be one way to God. And so argues the New Age spirituality. It's a whole githeri of beliefs and concoction of all sorts of ideas. The problem with this approach is that it ignores the root cause of our ills and the problems we are faced with as a nation. The real problem is a problem of sin, of departing from God's ways and embracing sometimes a form of godliness but denying the power therein. Jesus said in absolute terms, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. That means if you do not come to the Father through Him, you are off course. You do not know the way, you do not know the truth, and you do not have life in you. A right relationship with God is paramount and dealing with some of these issues that we are faced with. The psalmist asked in Psalm 121, I lift up my eyes to the hills, where does my help come from? I lift up my eyes to the hills, whence cometh my help? My help is in the name of the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot to sleep. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is the shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming in and your going out, both now and forevermore. Now Psalm 120 all the way to Psalm 127, 137 are called Psalms or Songs of Ascent. They were psalms that were recited as pilgrims made their way to Jerusalem during the annual festivals. In the midst of this great multitude that journeyed to the hills of Jerusalem. Now Jerusalem is a city that is built on 7 hills according to some historians. It is based on the hills is elevated. As you ascend to the holy hill of the Lord, they recited these psalms 120 all the way to 137. They are called Psalms or Songs of Ascent. They declared, I look to the hills, I lift my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord Almighty. Now hills were a natural safety, a hiding place in time of war. The elevation gives the person up the mountain a vantage position to see the enemy who is encroaching upon this person up the mountain and hopefully launch a counter attack. The clefts and the caves up the mountain provided a perfect hideout for those people who needed safety and refuge from the pursuing enemy. It is difficult to defeat someone who is up the mountain and up the hill. They will spot you down the valley and see you coming and maybe roll down stones or attack you in some way. So mountains were a natural place where people sought safety and refuge. But the psalmist is saying, I lift up my eyes to these mountains, this natural means of safety and security. Where does my help come from? My help does not come from these mountains, from the caves, but my help comes from the Lord who made the very mountains that are before us. I lift my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from?